All right, welcome back to Lag Demon Programming. In this tutorial series, we're going to kind of start over with Unreal Engine and take a look at many of the little detailed things that you can do with it, things you can do with Blueprint, how to manipulate stuff. We may turn this into a game of sorts, but we're going to start with the first-person Blueprint. And the very first thing we're going to do and work on is a little bit of HUD work. So that we can set up a health bar, and I want to be able to drag that health bar around and drop it wherever I want on the screen. And this is also in response to a request I received to do some tutorials on drag and drop. So we're going to start with doing basic drag and drop, which is just moving something around the screen. Later on in the series, fairly soon in the series, I would say, in the next few videos, we'll also get into dragging and dropping stuff from inventories and into your hotbar, or from one inventory to another, such as from a chest or a file cabinet or whatever it is that you're opening up that you're getting items out of, or picking items up into different inventories, and how you can move those around and organize them. So that's what this series is going to be about, and we're going to do a lot of interesting little things with it. And so I hope you stick with me, and thanks for watching, and let's get into it right now. Okay, so here we are in Unreal Engine 4, and all I've done is created a basic first-person shooter project. Here's the first-person stuff, the first-person blueprint. I think what I want to do is in here under first-person blueprint, we're going to first go in and create a new folder, and we're just going to call it HUD, and this is where all of our HUD stuff is going to go. So the first thing we're going to do is create some user interface blueprint widget blueprints. And the first one we're going to create is going to be called drag widget. The next one we're going to create is going to be called our health bar, and we'll create another one called HUD, and this will be our main HUD widget. Then the next thing that we need is what's called a drag drop operation. That's going to be a blueprint class, and we're going to go down here to all classes, and if this isn't open, you can click on it and open it here, and we're going to type in drag drop, and we've got this drag drop operation, and that's what we want to base our blueprint class on, is the drag drop operation. And we're going to call this widget drag. Oops, it went out of there. We can call it widget drag. So this is our drag drop operation. So we're going to go ahead and open that widget drag operation, and here in the designer for this, we're going to go up here to variables, and we're going to add a new variable, and we're going to call this widget reference, and its type over here is going to be user widget. And under user widget, we want an object reference, because it's going to be a reference, and you'll see that by this little symbol here. Next, we're going to create another variable, and we're going to call this one drag offset, and its type is going to be that of a 2D vector. So this is going to be vector, and if we come down here, you'll see vector 2D. That's what we want. It's a 2D vector, because we're only dealing with the 2D space of the screen, not the 3D space of the world. So at that point, we can compile and save and go ahead, and for now we're just going to close that so it's not in our way. I could leave it open, but it doesn't matter. You can leave it open if you want to. Next, we're going to open up the drag widget, and again, well, we need to go here to graph, and in variables, we're going to create another one called widget reference, and its type, which is on this type of diagram, is down here. We're going to type in user widget and make sure that what we select is an object reference. Oh, I forgot something. We need to go back here to our widget drag object, and this widget reference needs to be instance editable and expose on spawn. And the drag offset also needs to be instance editable and expose on spawn. We can compile and save that and close it. And this reference also needs to be instance editable and expose on spawn. And so we can compile and save that. And for now, for the moment, we'll close it. We'll open them as we need them. So next, we're going to open up our health bar. Over here in the hierarchy, we're just going to delete this canvas panel. And we're going to go up here to, I believe it's panel, and what we want is a size box. And we'll drop this size box in here. And then we want a progress bar, which I believe, I don't remember where that's at, so we'll just go here and type progress. There's our progress bar, and we'll drop it in the size box. And we'll select this size box, and we're going to do a width override and a height override. We'll make the width 500, and we'll make the height 50. And if you want to see it in its regular mode here, so we can see it's we can go to desired on screen, and there it is. So we can now select the progress bar, and progress bar 27 is kind of ugly, so we're going to call this health bar. And what we'll do is select the color here, and we'll make it a green. And then there should be a style here, and under style, background, we can go to tint, and we'll make that red. And then we can close the style, and here with percent, you can see as the percent goes up, it goes all, we'll just make it all green for the moment. But if you start losing health, you'll see some red. We'll make a fancier one at some point in time that the whole bar will change color based on the percent, but for now we'll just leave it like this. So it'll change, have like a gray background, but as it goes down, it'll go, it comes off green, 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 then it'll start turning yellow, and then it'll start turning orange, and eventually it'll turn red when it gets down very low. We'll do that. I believe we did that in a previous video, but we'll do that in this one as well. Or not this video, but in this series. So with that all set up, now what we can do is, well, we can go ahead and compile and save that. Compile and save that. Okay. So now we need to go over to the graph on this, and we can get rid of this stuff. We don't need it. And in the event graph on this, what we're going to do is over here under functions, we're going to override on mouse down, on space mouse button down. And we're also going to override the function. So we're going to click this override button, and we're going to go on drag detected is what we want. These two functions, on mouse down and on drag detected. All right, so in order to do this, we'll spread these out. We'll disconnect this pin, break that link. All right, okay. So the first thing we're going to do is take this pointer event out of here, and we're going to go get screen space position. That'll get the position on our screen of where this drag started. Then out of our geometry here, we're going to do get, absolute to local. So this is gonna change from this absolute coordinate here to a local coordinate within the geometry that we're within, and that's our, it's like the coordinate within our progress bar that is our health bar. Okay? And then coming out of this, so let's move this down here, make this a little bit neater. We can pull these down here a bit. This piece here, what we want to do is promote this to a variable, and that variable name is going to be drag offset. So that's, oops, it didn't do it. Drag offset. So here's our drag offset as calculated by these two nodes. Oops. Now the next thing that we need is a node called detect drag if pressed. So this is going to determine if a drag operation is actually occurring, and it's going to need this pointer event right here, and we can take and maneuver this around so that it's a little neater and not overlapping those things, so we can follow it a little bit better. And then the drag key that we're going to want to use is the mouse, and it's going to be the left mouse button. Left mouse button. Then we just plug this into here and this into here. Oops, nope, we can't do that. Break this. Okay, so I just did this all in the wrong function. So we need to grab, oops. We need to grab just grab all these nodes. We'll go Control X to get rid of them. And we need to go over here on mouse button down. Break this link. Paste these in. Okay. Hook this up to here. Hook the geometry up to this geometry here. Hook the mouse event up to here. And that's going over to there, and this is going over to there, and now it all hooks up because I used the wrong one. Oh, and this needs to go the mouse. Oh, no, this is the mouse event. Goes into here. There we go. There's the pointer event, left mouse. Okay, so there is our on mouse button down function. So we can compile and save that. Now we want to go to the on drag detected. Okay, so now here on the on drag detected function, we've got a number of nodes that we need to create. Oops, 1 second. Okay, so we need to create the widget here. So this is going to be our drag widget. So we can go create widget, or is it create user with no create user, no, it's just create widget. And this says owning player, and I don't quite get that. So we can go here to self. This isn't supposed to say that. Construct none. We want to create a drag widget. Ah, there it is. Widget reference self. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is take this return value here and promote it to a variable, which we're going to call dragged widget. So let me go over here, dragged. This is the dragged widget, and we've set it in that variable. Coming out of this, we need to create the widget. So we need to create a widget. Create widget. No, we need to create a drag operation. I'm sorry. Create drag drop operation. That's what we need to do here. Oops, plug this into here. Now we need another reference to self. We can just grab this one, or we can do it. That's our widget. Oh, first of all, we want to do the class, and the class for us is drag drop operation. Oh, no, it's not. It's widget drag. There we go. And the self reference goes into the widget reference, or we can do another one. Then we need this dragged widget, which we can do here and do a get dragged widget, and we plug that into the default drag visual right here. So this is what's going to show as the visual that we're moving around on the screen, is this little widget. We'll create that. It's very simple. And then we need this drag offset, which we can grab from here. We'll drop it here, get drag offset, and that goes into drag offset right there. And then we simply return this here, and we return this value here, and this function is done. We can compile and save that. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is set up our main HUD widget. So let's open up this HUD widget, and over here, is it properties, appearance, visibility. Let's just type in, there's visibility, not hit testable. We want to set that to visible. Okay. Then we want to go find, we can kill this. We want to find, oh, we got to go back to our designer now. And user created, we have our health bar. And so we can drop our health bar up here. So there's our health bar on our main HUD. So then the next thing we're going to do is go over here to our graph, and we can get rid of all of this stuff. And we want to go to our functions and override on drop. On drop, there it is. So here's our on drop function, and this one's relatively simple. Well, no, it's not relatively simple. One second. Okay, so again, we're going to break this link, and coming out of on drop, we need to take this operation here and cast to widget drag. There we go. And then we need to take this geometry again and go absolute to local. And we need to get this pointer event again and go get screen space position. Plug this into here. And I think we can kind of put these here. Now we need to take this, and we've got our widget reference from here. So this is our widget drag. We need to get our widget reference, get widget reference from that. And we also need to get our drag offset. So we can do that here, drag offset, get drag offset. And we need to do a remove from parent. So what we're going to be removing from parent is this guy, this widget reference. So if we come up here and we go remove from parent, and it's so nice that you always have these context things, right? You can get these things right from the thing you want. It's already hooked up to your target. This remove from parent there. Also, we got to do a little math here. We've got our drag offset, and we've got this return value here. We need to do a little subtraction here, subtract, and we want to subtract a 2D vector from a 2D vector. So we've got that, subtract the drag offset from that. This gives us the the positioning based on the mouse cursor and the corner of the thing, so everything, it doesn't jump. Basically what this is doing is we're somewhere inside the thing, we're dragging to some position. We don't want to drop our thing right where the mouse is, because that would put the corner of it to the mouse and it would jump to a different position. We want to put it right where we've stationed it, and so this drag offset is what calculates that from the absolute position. And I believe I got those hooked up right. We're taking the absolute position and subtracting the drag offset. That's correct. So we've removed it from parent. We now want to add this to viewport. And what do we want to add to viewport is this. Add to viewport, the widget reference. And then we want to set position in viewport of, again, the widget reference. So we'll come over here and we'll go set position in viewport. And the position that we're going to set is this new position right here. And we're going to turn off this remove DPI scale. DPI is dots per inch. And we're simply going to return true over here, and that should be done. We can compile and save. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is, well, this is popped out, we'll leave it there for now, is open up our drag widget. Okay, so this is the thing that's going to display as we're moving it around on the screen. And what we need to do on this is go over here to the graph, go here to the, is it in the graph or is it in the designer? The canvas. Nope, the drag widget. Nope, the canvas. Oh, that's right. We want to delete this. Sorry, yeah. Delete this, and under panel, we got to add a size box to it. There we go, size box, and then we want to override width and height, but we don't need to do anything with them because we're just going to leave it there. We're going to assign these in script. Rather, we're gonna make it the same size as our actual box. That way, if we change that size for some reason, we don't have to come and change it here. So what we want to do now is take this size box and drop in, oh yes, common border. We want to drop a border into it. That way we can assign some colors here, and the color picker will just make it black. Oops, I don't want it absolutely, oh, set that back. That wasn't the right one. Here we go, brush, parents, we're on the border, right? Tint, make it black, there it is. And then set the alpha on this to about 0.5. Okay. Then we're going to go to take a look at the blueprint. Let's do a compile and save just in case it crashes. Get rid of this stuff, I believe. No, we want the event construct, so we don't need pre-construct, and we don't need tick, but we need event construct. And so what we're going to do is come off of this and say cast to health bar. from the widget reference. Sorry. So here's our widget reference. We'll get the widget reference and we'll take that and we will cast to health bar. Then what we're going to do is, as the health bar, we're going to get desired size. We can split this struct pin so we have an X and Y value. And then we can just grab the this oh yes, so we have to go back here to the designer, and this size box, we want to come up here and say is variable. And go back to the box here and you'll see that we've got this size box 35. We can rename it if we want. We'll just call it well, we can't rename it from here. We can rename it here. We'll call it widget size. It's a little bit easier. So here we want to pull this out and get the widget size, and then we want to do this thing here. We want it to set height widget size set height override, and the height we're going to set it to is the Y value, and then we're going to grab it again, pull it over here and go set width override, plug this into here and plug the X value into there for the width. And that's all of that. We will compile and save and go back here. So the last thing that we have to do is add this to our viewport. And what we're going to do is go here into first person blueprints and open up the first person character. No, yeah. We'll open up the first person character. We've got this little begin play here. It's being used by something, so let's add a sequence node here. We'll plug it into this, and we'll plug this sequence into here so that that isn't broken. Whatever it is, I don't want to look into it right now. I want to go here and say create HUD create widget, and the class we're going to do is a HUD widget, and we're going to do an add to viewport. We'll take this and we'll go add to viewport, and then we will take this, we'll get the player controller, get player controller, and coming off the player controller we will grab show mouse cursor, no, didn't want that. We want set show mouse cursor, set show mouse cursor, that's what we want, and plug this into here, and this is true, and that should be all that takes. Okay, so we can compile and save, and if I did everything right, cross our fingers, I'm going to go down here to save all just in case it crashes, and we will play, and there's our health bar, and if I click it and drag it, I get this little thing here, and I think I'm doing some calculating wrong somewhere because it's not landing exactly where I tell it to land. It's moving. It's moving when I pick it up. Something's weird. Let's see if I can set it right here. No? I set it here? Yeah, it's moving a little bit. So what did I... Ooh. It's moving to the center of our mouse for some reason. So let's troubleshoot that and figure out what I did wrong. I think it's in... That's the size setup. That seems to be fine. Let's go back to here. Mistakes happen. Okay, I found the error. This pivot here needs to be sent to mouse down instead of center. Because all it was doing is popping it to the center of the mouse. If we compile and save, and we go back here to this, we'll do a save all real quick. And now if we hit play and we grab it, so it's not centering it anymore, it's going to keep it right where we put it. It's going to pick it up and drag it along right where we want it. Set it up here or set it over here or move it down here. Everything's working very smoothly now. So that's the basics of how you do drag and drop. So I'm going to review that real quickly. Basically what we have here, oh, let me get out of the game. We have a HUD that's going to be displaying this stuff on the screen, and it's loaded in via our first person character. We create that HUD there. The health bar itself is our progress bar wrapped up in this. When we click in it and we start dragging, this is a drag detection. And I'm not sure why this stuff, oh, that doesn't need to be hooked up. It gets it from other things. So on drag detected, picks that up, creates the drag widget. That's the thing that we're dragging along. It creates the widget drag. This is actually painting it along the screen. This node tells it how to paint it. This is just really an object to hold what's going on here, this widget drag. It basically just holds the data, and then we have our drag widget, and the drag widget does its thing when it sets its height and so forth, so it matches the thing we're doing. We could do other stuff in here, change it to an icon. If we're dragging this is where we would do things like display some sort of icon that represents an item that we're pulling out, so that you see a little item dragging along with you in a little window, rather than just an icon or something, or rather than just a block. We could put an icon in here. All kinds of stuff we can do with this. So that's it. That's how it works. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.